Okay, we all ready to go? Yeah, 7 o'clock. Good to see everybody here tonight, especially Dave. He's been feeling a little under the weather, as we all know, so good to see him back. We got some firefighters here tonight, and of course our friendly neighborhood rec guy, Taylor's with us, so Taylor's got a report too. So I'm just going to turn it over to Terry and let her carry on as usual, I think.
So, council, the building's maintenance officer, Dan, he has been out sick for the last couple of weeks, actually. He's had this flu mess and just can't shake it, so he doesn't have a report tonight, but he said January's been fairly slow anyway, so there really wasn't a whole lot that he needed to do. He said that if there was anything, he'll just add it to next month's thing, so I will pass it over to Recreation Director, and then we'll continue on.
So my stuff for this month is pretty short and sweet. So what I've done, what I try to do is any of the projects that would still be ongoing or aren't concluded yet, I try to have a brief description of kind of where we're at. Any of the updates will be highlighted in yellow. So I'll start with the bike park or the BMX park at Brookdale Recreation or Camber Drive Park. So all the gravel was dumped there. So if you've driven by it and you see all the lumps in the snow, that's all his gravel he's got delivered there. Once that got dropped, we sourced 2 boulders from Eugene Henry to kind of block off that driveway. I try to check on it kind of every couple of weeks. Everything seems fine and ready to go for there. So we are first on his list for the spring in terms of construction. So as soon as the ground thaws, he'll be there to start work on that. Next kind of updates is Hanwell Sports. So with that, kind of going to start to get in the swing of things in terms of planning. So Tim Hortons and Tim Bitts reached out today for the soccer jerseys. So I'm going to work, get that order placed and kind of finalize our numbers for that. Still ongoing, unfortunately, are the photo packages. Hoping to clear those out soon. So this weekend we're going to host the first in a series of Learn to Play pickleball classes in partnership with the Fredericton Pickleball Club as an opportunity to try to get some residents kind of up to speed on how the game works. It is immensely popular, and when I do post them, it usually fills up in a matter of 20 minutes. So this Sunday we're full, and I'm just waiting to confirm with the district what I'm allowed to do around some dates in March with respect to March break. So once I figure that out, I'll post the other 2 dates for that. Next kind of update, and truthfully what's taken a lot of my time since I all last seen everybody has been the MOU and kind of kicking that off. So I think last time we met was January 10th, so we were about 48 hours into that venture. We're about 5.5 weeks today. So I think overall I'm really happy with how everything's going. I mean, I won't get into the minutiae of it. It is nothing super exciting, other than to say we do, like, our weekday nights are pretty much booked. It's shared across multiple different groups and multiple different sports and activities. We got basketball, pickleball, volleyball, indoor soccer, everything. So it is being shared across a bunch of different groups that are, do service Hanwell residents in their clubs and organizations. Over the past 2 weekends, we did have our first 2 tournaments. So on February 3rd and 4th, we hosted the Capital Region Futsal Cup. For those of you who don't know what futsal is, it's indoor soccer. They had about 200 plus participants, so they were in pretty steady those 2 days. This past weekend we hosted the U11 Girls Jamboree, so it's a year-end jamboree for that age group through the Fredericton Youth Basketball Association. They had about 70 plus participants and over 150 spectators, so really happy with how the staff worked that weekend and made sure the facility is being kept how it should be. We also did launch our ski and snowshoe rentals in conjunction with Frostival this year, so that's a partnership I know we had last year. I'm assuming we've done it in years past as well. There's been a ton of demand for cross-country skis, so much so 2 pairs have actually been damaged this year to really no fault of the user. I know some of them, and I can't remember if we purchased them my first summer back in 2017 or not. but some of them are starting to get up there in age, so it is kind of a matter of time. And what we're seeing is sort of the laminate, that top laminate layer, is starting to break off. I'm working with Sully's Athletics to see if there's a potential fix for that, so I'll have more information this week on that. All the equipment for the gym has now arrived. I know last time we spoke we were still waiting on a decent chunk of it, so it's all there and it's all over at the school now. Outside of that, really the last thing for me tonight is now that we're halfway through February, we're about 8 or 9 weeks away from the summer students coming back. So really this week I've started to formulate kind of a rough idea on some of the things we'd like to have them get done with respect to different areas. Kind of wrote down, in an ideal world, I'd love to have 2 rec students if possible. So one to kind of service the whole Hanwell Sports summer program, and another to kind of help out on that community engagement side with different leisure events, programs, cultural issues. From that standpoint, and I think too with kind of all the property we have now and with respect to recreation and stuff, it'd be nice to get 4 laborers in the summer just to help with mowing and working on policies and whatnot. But that's pretty much it for me tonight. Like I said, January's been pretty well filled with the school, so if anybody had any questions, I'm happy to take them. I'll let you guys get on with your night.
Great job.
Busy, thanks, Taylor.
Thanks. Okay, so next on our agenda is a presentation by Matt McNeil. He is the captain of the Upper Kingsclear Fire Department, and he previously sent out the presentation to you for a new fire truck. So this is a spec truck that possibly could be able to be purchased for November, is that correct?
That's correct.
So, I will pass it over to Matt. Then I had provided him some questions this afternoon. And if you are able to answer those tonight, that's fine. If you can't, if you could get the information back to me. And then council, I have been in contact with the Municipal Capital Borrowing Board because I was not involved in the applications when we did the application for here or for the fire station. That was before my time here, so I contacted them to see exactly what the process was. So we can discuss that after the presentation and stuff. So anyway, I think the best thing is for the fire department to do the presentation. No decisions I am expecting tonight. Even at the council meeting next month, next week, I am not expecting, because it's going to take a little bit of time. We won't even have our financial statements until like the end of February, and then we've got the application and the hearing and stuff like that. So it'll probably be at least, I'm thinking it's probably going to be their May hearing, so we'd have to have the applications in by April. But, so it's not something that you need to make a decision on like tonight or next week. So I will be bringing forward more information as I receive it as well. So I will pass this over to Mr. McNeil, and you can
Good evening, everybody. So I'm the captain of the Upper Kingsclear Fire Department. So we've, now that we've become a rural community part of from Upper Kingsclear to Hanwell, we decided to get a truck committee together for the fire department. Now that you guys will be in charge of ordering trucks and saying yay or nay. So we don't have LSD making those rules for us, where they were just stock trucks that were generic for the whole province-wide tender. So it's a little bit different where we're a community and you guys can order what we want and put the tender out for that type of thing. The reason we kind of did this is we kind of have we have about 12 apparatus, and they're starting to age. So some of the rules and regulations, they meet standards. They have to meet a 20-year spec for first out trucks. I know Chief's probably gone over some of this stuff with you. But out of our 12 fleet, 8 of them are more than 15 years old. So we just want to get a 5-10 year plan going up the road of getting the trucks and the apparatus recirculated through, rather than you guys have to get a big paycheck and pay out on multiple trucks all at once. We want to get ahead of the game and try to get one now. Another reason why this is important too is with Justin Trudeau's environmental stuff and emissions. Truck engines, dump truck, fire engine, doesn't matter what kind of vehicle it is changing. So emissions are changing, so they're getting rid of certain engines, which is going to raise the cost thanks to that and COVID. So there's lots of delays with getting the cabs and chassis, so it's a lot more money. So we've looked at different manufacturers within the province, outside of the province, states, and what have you. With the cost increasing, we've come across this stock unit, which is out of Maxi Metal, which is out of Quebec. But the Pierce chassis comes out of Florida. So it's a stock unit. We can make changes that suit our needs. But the nice thing about getting a stock unit like this, that I sent the spec sheet and the drawing is, that we can get it in November if the tender gets, the tender can go out April or May, like Terry said. And the delivery date would be end of November, as she said. Versus if we went with a tender and we expect a custom truck of what we want, it's probably going to be 2 to 3 years. And 2 to 3 years, we'd be needing another truck. So we're going to be looking at possibly another pumper or a rescue truck. Because they're coming up on age too. Our heavy rescue's at 24 years, and our pump 2, which we're looking at to replace right now, is at 23 years. So just delaying even more with those 2 to 3 years, waiting for the chassis and have you. We've looked at this opportunity, we thought we'd try to jump on it while we can, and try to save you guys some money as well, and get a really nice truck at the same time. So like I said, you're looking at, it doesn't matter if it's custom or commercial cab, you're looking at close to $1 million. Doesn't really matter where you're getting it from. If you're getting it from Metal Fab, Maxi Metal, Dependable, out west at Fort Garry. So there's lots of dealers out there, but there are not too many spec trucks like this that are rural settings, which we need. So that's one of the other reasons why we jumped on this one as well. So that answers question 1. We do need the truck. It's replacing pump 2. So it's 23 years old. And as you guys have seen, to increase of maintenance on some of these units too. It's going to save us some money on maintenance costs. Question 2, yes, we have space, so it would be either going to station.
Sorry, they don't have any of these
Oh,
questions. No,
Keep going.
no, so,
It'd be going to station 1 or station 2, and we'd be circulating the truck out, so pump 2 would go to station 3 probably.
right, so my question was, do we have a place to store this truck, so.
And then number 3, so there is a possibility of selling, getting rid of one of our units. Depending if we get the new rescue or the pumper, we can amalgamate and get rid of a couple of the units if we need to and possibly get some money. Especially the rescue unit one, we could get rid of support 1 and get a combined unit. So we get rid of support 1 and our heavy rescue, and you get some money that way as well. So.
What, do you have some idea, like, what we would be, what we could get from that?
No, I'm not sure on the cost on that one. That one's not a big unit, so that wouldn't be very much money. But it depends on trade value too, where we get the units, that they might take the unit from us and refurb them, or we might just sell it depending on if it goes to like Jardines or something like that. So it depends on which unit we sell and how much money actually we get for them. Sometimes they go for a decent amount of money, and then sometimes just a couple grand type thing, depending on what unit it would be. So.
Okay.
And you can put it out there to the province and their municipalities and stuff.
Yeah. So
If they're looking for something like that, and maybe their budget isn't that large.
Right, okay.
And some departments do put that out there, like you said, like they put it up to Capital District or the province the fire marshals, they're looking for a unit, and they don't have a big budget, like we have a big tax basis, but some of the communities don't have that, so they would take a secondhand unit versus us, where we run a lot of calls, we're getting up there in call volume, a variety of calls at that too, so we do need the apparatus versus some of them that would run like 15 calls a year versus our 300 calls a year, that they can use a used apparatus. And then the last question, so you were talking about right away versus 2 to 3 years. I kind of answered that. The chassis and stuff like that, it takes a long time. So just for some numbers, Fredericton put their engine out for tender 3 or 2 years ago, and this chassis still hasn't even been built yet. And they'll be getting their truck the same time if we got this one. We'd be getting it around the same time. So that's the nice thing about the stock unit. They've been waiting 3 or 4 years, and we would get it within a year. So, and also if we put this engine on this year, if we need another one in 2 years, we can start tendering another one for 3 or 5 years or whatever. It'll be on the next budget or next pay type thing. So that kind of answers that question there. Was there any questions about the drawings or specs? I know the detailed spec is pretty thick, pretty detailed. And the pictures I sent out to you, the pictures are similar to what it exactly would look like, except we would change the decals and the paint scheme and all that stuff, but pretty much the exact same setup as the drawing. It does have 1,500 gallons of water, so it's a nice increase on water size for our tanks, for water supply, so that is another benefit as well.
You mentioned this is kind of specific to a rural community, so what's the difference? The clearance, maybe?
No, so this is the tank size is 1, so it's got 1,500 gallons of imperial water on it. But if you look at the back, there's a rear dump chute on them, versus a city truck or one that would have hydrants. They would only have about 500 gallons of water, and they don't have the dump chutes on the back, where we do a lot of shoveling water. We don't have hydrants around here. We do have dry hydrants,
Right.
but we still have to shuttle the water. So that's what that is. If you go on any of the sites, Dependable, Maxi, they do have stock units, but there's no dump valves and they're smaller tanks.
Yeah.
We need that increase on water supply.
Yeah.
So.
Isn't there some kind of a filter or something on it too, for when you're having to pull stuff out of like a lake or whatever?
There's screens on
Yeah.
on the suction, so if we suck it, we don't suck up any debris or anything into the
Yeah.
pumps and damage our stuff.
So Metal Fab can't offer any kind of arrangement like this?
Metal Fab can, but it goes back to 2 to 3 year wait versus less than a year. And Metal Fab also, it would be a cost increase possibly for the thing, and we can't guarantee we would get what we want right away. And it might be even more than the 1.2, that was the suggested budgetary price, but it could be a lot less too after we get actual tender. If it goes out to tender and awarded, we can actually take some of the stuff off that we don't need because it's a stock unit. Like I said, we could go Metal Fab. There's one in Nova Scotia, but do you want to weigh the time and increase costs? It's something to think about.
So if you tendered this, there's not very many other outfits that could meet the specs on this?
So it's all how you want to word your tendering. So if we do go this way and get the spec truck, Maxi Metal would give us a blank tender with all the specs that we have on it, just so it wouldn't have any of their information on it. And the thing that would basically award them the tender is the time frame. So you could put on your tender, you need it within the year or before December, and there's very few people that would be able to meet that. I don't even think, I've looked across all the provinces and there's no stock units like that, so.
I have actually asked if we have to get 3 quotes because not everybody builds a fire truck kind of thing. So local government, I asked them as part of my questions for the Municipal Capital Borrowing Board, and she just told me to run it through procurement, so I'll email them tomorrow. But she said, or you can just reach out to any municipality because chances are they've already found out those answers. So I'll find out the answer if we have to, or if we can just kind of go with this one where this is the time frame that we would like to.
Yeah, and the committee wants to get together after this process is done and start working on a rescue or something like that, of that nature, to be prepared for this, so that we're not playing catch-up. That's why we're trying to look at that 5 and 10 year plan going forward, that we're kind of ahead of the game looking at these things, so.
Okay, so, council, they provided me, because before they can even talk to, the company saying that we're interested, we have to have approval from Municipal Capital Borrowing Board. So you guys need to make a motion saying you are going to borrow, or you'd like to borrow X number of dollars. So we know that we've already put in $300,000 from our reserves last year that we want to do like an annual reserve. But they gave me some spreadsheet where I'm going to be able to say, okay, if we've got 300 as down payment and we want to do the whole 1.2 million, or do we want to do 900,000, or do we want to take a little bit out of our own reserves and break it down even further? So I will provide you with some different numbers, and then you guys can figure out how much you want to borrow. So they also told me that if, say we told them that we were gonna borrow the 1.2, we went ahead and we ordered the truck and it came in at less, or we decided to use some of our money, then we would just say, okay, we don't have to borrow this much, and then they won't take that money.
They'll only take what
What we actually need. So what they're doing is kind of saying, here's a pre-approval, this is how much
That's
you're
like
able
like
to.
applying for a mortgage for
Yeah.
$140,000, you only use $250.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep, so I'll be able to give you some of those figures so that we can get a better idea of what we want to do, or if we want to do it, because.
What's the standard amortization period?
So the most on a fire truck is 15 years.
Okay.
Like most of our loans are all out like 25 to 30, but however for a fire truck it is 15. And she said a lot of municipalities, now might not be small like ours, try to go with 10 because you're always playing catch up kind of thing. So there are some things that we need to work out together first, but we'll try to do this as quickly as we can so that council can make a decision or whatever. But I'll give you all the pros and cons, because this is going to be an increase to taxes, obviously. So there's things that you have to think about both ways.
Well, it sounds like it's something we need, it's just a matter of how we go about getting it. Either,
Yeah.
buy it now or buy it later, it'll cost you more money later, you know that.
So they are gonna provide you with a 10 and 15 year breakdown?
Yeah, the spreadsheet that they gave me, I can figure out all of that, so. I'll know more like in the next week or so. But I've got to, I'll be waiting until I get like our financial statements and stuff back as well. So there's information that I have to fill in from those for our debt ratios and stuff like that, so. But yes, if there's no more, Councillor Fox.
So I just wanna make sure I'm clear, so this is a brand new truck,
Yeah.
right? And it's replacing a 23-year-old
Yeah, it's
vehicle.
2001.
Okay,
Pump one.
yeah.
Or pump two, sorry.
And what's the lifespan on this?
So the first out, like, so they consider them ratings, so first out engine, it's 20 years. After that, you can use them as tankers, so they wouldn't be the first out units coming out of the thing. So they have to meet ULC standards, testing, pump testing annually. So another thing is that we want to get new is if we got a used truck versus like we did with the ladder truck where you got a used rescue, The pumps, it takes off the years of how many years of service you can have for a frontline engine.
Right.
So, and you can get somebody else's problem with the pumps and valving and all that stuff versus a ladder truck or a rescue. You don't have as many of those problems versus an engine, so.
Thank you.
So,
This truck is 1,500 gallons and our current trucks are all thousands, so it is a gain of 500 gallons of water.
Which is a plus for sure. What kind of warranty comes on a fire truck, just out of curiosity, like,
It does state in the spec package, so the first year, it's all warranted by Maxey and Pierce for the first year for any of their part of the chassis portion. And then as far as the drivetrain and all that stuff, there's certain kilometers and the pump and all that stuff that's warranted by separate people. So it's a waterless pump, so there's a lifespan on the waterless pump. The actual chassis, the cab itself, would be warranted by Pierce out of Florida. And then anything on the back end of the truck with the tank and the pump and everything that they put together in Quebec, that would be warranted by Maxey. And then once that's complete, once the warranty's up on that, we still can use our guy Dave that does all of our pump testing, servicing, so we don't have to send it away to the States or send it up to Quebec, which would incur more costs, so he can do all the work here. But there is a drivetrain, all that stuff, like a normal car.
yeah, you're dealing with a,
Yeah,
you're
it's
dealing
like
with
5 years, 160.
a lot of different outfits,
Yeah,
that's for sure.
yeah.
So are you concerned that this is from Quebec and not around here?
No, I'm not concerned. I mean, we do like metal fab, but we have metal fab trucks, but like I said, the price increase and the waiting time and might not get it. Like I've seen other guys, I work at Pro as an industrial firefighter, Musquash, they were like 5 years to get their engine. A couple other guys were a long time, so it's that waiting game, and we've heard good reviews from Pierce and Maxey Metal from the trucks. A lot of the guys are going that way. Hampton just got a new truck. We went and drove that one and test drived it and checked how that worked. Fredericton's got one. St. Stephen just got a ladder truck from them, so like brand new trucks. So big units, they're pricey, but they last long. And with the cab from Pierce, they're well built. They're made for firefighting versus the commercial cabs that we currently have. It's more of like a road truck. But these are ergonomically built for firefighters, safety-wise, they're airbag, rollover protection. They put the weights on the cab versus our cabs that they would crush a lot easier than these ones. These are like built for firefighting. So similar to our ladder truck, it's the cab over with the flat nose. It's made for firefighting, and as you can see by the ladder truck, if it's taken care of properly, it'll last quite a long time. So it can be our second out tanker after the 20 years is up.
So the track record for these particular trucks, for Maxey Metal or whatever is,
Yeah, it's good quality, good workmanship and stuff like that, and I haven't heard any issues from anybody with them.
do you have any business, how long, any idea?
I think actually I think it's like 40 years or 50 years. Yeah, they do a lot of. They started out making Quebec hydro trucks and that style box, so like rescue boxes and stuff. And they got into fire trucks, and now they got the contract with Pierce, so they're the East Coast dealers for the Pierce dealership. So it's just a name brand of fire truck.
So it must be a lot bigger company than Metal Fab.
Yeah, like Metal Fab's just New Brunswick, so kind of like a mom and pop shop type thing. Like,
Yep.
it's a little homegrown one. Versus this one, that's more industrial, bigger. They putting out a lot more trucks. They go all the way down to the States, all the way up to BC.
So would it take still 2 to 3 years to get, if we didn't do the November thing?
Yeah, it would.
I'm assuming they're making another one right now that, would it be ready in February?
Like I said, who was the other one? Or Muckdo and Fredericton, they've been in the 2-year process of tendering and waiting for the truck. And if one of theirs is going to be built and finished the same time this stock truck would. So if we did our own tender, like spec truck, it would be 2 to 3 years, and we would be waiting quite a while. Just because the backlog from COVID, parts and everything like that, all the manufacturers like that, cabs and chassis and stuff. So
No, I think the question was if we if we didn't do this, get this truck for November, would they have another truck available, say in March?
No. We have to, if we tendered it out, if we still put the tender out, it'd probably be you'd be waiting 2 or 3 years.
It's the
So-
same, it's the same as, well, all the manufacturers, and it doesn't matter if it's cars or fire trucks. They, have their line set up, and let's say their goal is 120 cab and chassis this year. So they run to that 120, now they're back to building whatever. They just don't throw it in between, they'll set a time slot aside, and they'll, send whole crew of trucks in. I'm not sure what it would be if it is 120, and then, just that.
Yeah, the rep, Jim, he said that he was down in Florida recently, and they were putting out about 320 units out of the Florida, just the cab itself, a year. But because of the backlog, they doubled their staffing and their rotations, and they're trying to get 500 out a year now, so they can get caught up on the backlog of all the trucks. So it's a lot going out now.
So it's not just because it's a spec truck that it's available, or
Yeah, it's a
it's
stock.
stock truck
Yeah.
as compared to a spec truck. It's not to do with that's available.
Yeah, it is. So it's
Okay.
stock unit trucks that how it works with them, or they call them programmable trucks. They usually do them annually. They'll have them starting out at this time frame, January, February, and they'll have the trucks that they are most frequently putting out, the parts, the cabs and stuff like that. They'll build about 3 or 4 of those a year as spec unit trucks, and then the reason why they do that, it's cheaper because, like Chief said, they're on the manufacturing plant, so if they're doing like 5 in a row, the exact same cab, exact same back end of the truck, they can get them out quicker, versus if it's one truck and you want the ladders to go through here, and you want the porta tank here, and you want all this other extra stuff different, then it's all engineering, spec time, parts, labor, that changes that engineering and stuff like that. So that's why the spec trucks, they can get them out, as well as their normal spec trucks that they're Fredericton or Moncton or whoever else is building separately. So this one, like I said, the drawing's already done up, the parts are already ordered for these trucks. So all they gotta wait for is a cab coming from Florida, and then they build the rest of it up in Quebec.
So 5 other municipalities could be having meetings tonight going, okay, there's just one spec truck and
No,
it's whoever
he's
gets money
holding it for us.
for us?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this stock truck is available for us
Yeah.
if we, okay.
And tender goes out, can go out, they said earliest April or May, and then depending on the borrowing board, if you guys agree and all that stuff. And then it would be available, he said November 19th we could get the truck, so.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? No, we're good? All right. Well, thank you very much. Good presentation, we kind of have a good idea.
Thank you.
Very good, so I will.
You guys don't have to leave, you can stay.
This is our training night, as you know, Wednesday night.
He's happy hearts.
You did a good job training us.
Yeah. Well, we just wanted to invite you.
No?
Yes,
Yeah.
thanks.
Don't need.
Okay,
Hold fingers this weather.
see ya.
Thanks, guys.
I'll be
Appreciate it.
in touch with
If
you.
there's any more questions, if they have anything in particular.
I'll
just
send
let
them
me know.
over. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so moving on, we are on to the recreation building, and Counselor Jonah, did you want to
Well,
give any updates, or?
well, I guess we're sort of to the point where we've been, we have to, basically it comes down to whether we want to build out the back or whether we want to build a piece on the side. Everybody has had the information from, for quite some time, from Tom Morrison, who gave us a proposal that you guys had in your packages, all the new people had in their packages, and where it went out the side. Then after that, we had also gotten, two years ago, had gotten some information from DM White Architects, and they proposed going out the back. So basically, what I was hoping everybody would do was sort of look through it. Of course, all the costs that were in any of those are no value anymore. So really, I think the next step is we've basically got to decide on a concept, either outside or at the back. I don't know, I think we're kind of proposing, after looking at it, that probably out the back, going straight out, is probably the way I would prefer to go. Simply because it maintains the structure of the building and the look. And it's also, from conversation I've had with Tamara White, it's still probably the cheaper way to go, because you're not changing your roof line and you're not doing all that kind of thing. So I guess what the next step would be, and as we all know, we need to kind of, if we want to get anything done this year, finding people to do things is not exactly easy. And the first step is to, put out a proposal for, we know our plan, and put a proposal for, for some drawings from an architect. Because we do have, and as you read in the information that she sent you, is because we are required to do that, because it is a public building, and so we have to go about it in a certain way. So I guess the first step would be is everybody to kind of talk about it, see what everybody else thinks, what they'd like to do, and then I guess it's to put out a tender for proposals.
First question I have is, have we determined what the building's gonna be used for? And have we said, okay, we're gonna spend, how much money are we going to spend on it? We just looked at a $1.2 million acquisition. Okay.
But the money from this comes out of a totally different stream than the fire truck. We have gas tax funding for all of this, or most of this, not all of it.
Well, that's another thing. Do we have a plan for 2024 to 2029 for that?
No, so I was just gonna say, so, our new capital plan is expired as 2023, so I was talking to, gas tax the other day because I was concerned, wondering if the projects that we did not do in those 4 or 5 years, if we're going to lose it, or if they are going to cut back on our funding going forward for the next 5 years because we didn't do it. He said I said because we were dealing with a lot last year, then there was COVID and different stuff, so I said a lot of our projects didn't get completed. He said that we're not alone. He said they have been confirmed by Ottawa that they will not make us pay back that money, but they have not heard yet what's going to happen. And we should hear something in the next few weeks, so we will be having a meeting to find out what we want to do for capital projects, but currently he said that our projects that are approved are still approved until we decide that we want to change them. So we have $400,000 through a gas tax that was approved to go into the recreation building kind of thing. And then there was other, I think there was $430,000 for an amphitheater that we were gonna do that didn't get done, so those funds could be used for whatever projects that we want to use. So I will say, when you're talking about wondering what could be done, there is a gentleman that is coming to our council meeting on Wednesday. They are interested in possibly doing a little coffee shop there. And he said, they realized, I explained to him that there was repairs that needed to be done, that we were thinking of putting in washrooms, blah, blah, blah. So he is well aware of what we still need to do, but he wanted to just do a presentation to council to do a coffee shop. I guess Monkey Cakes has closed or something. Anyway, his sister does all those cupcakes, and her husband is a carpenter. He has his construction company here in Hanwell, so they are kind of interested in what might be able, if we possibly might want to just lease it to them, or if we want to rent it, or if we want to do whatever. So I just told him, I said the best thing is to come do a presentation to council, and then council can decide from there. But saying that, I don't even know if we can allow another business to go there, because this is Crown Lands, right? So all of those details would have to be done.
We're probably at least a year away from having the building completed. I mean, we can talk about what the intent was, but I think, in my mind, that building will be very busy most of the time anyway, even more so than this one, because it's, good for small events, and so my first thought is not tying it down to one specific use, because, it's meant to be used by the public for parties and games. For example, I was in here one night dropping something off, and there was, they're having a sleepover, the Guides or the Sparks or something like that, which, we're in this great big humongous room with like 10 kids, which would have been perfect over in a small place like that. I mean, that's kind of the intent of the building. You were wondering what the plan was to use it for.
Well, again, we're only looking at, 660 square feet max or something along that particular
exactly
line.
how big it is,
It's not a significant amount.
Yeah.
And provincial regulations, et cetera, would probably limit the number of people that could be allowed in it. And secondarily, as much as we'd like to have it as and now don't get me wrong, a recreational or community facility, okay, to a degree, it should also, being the auditor and me and the financial idiot that I am, be paying part of its way, because we're spending a lot of money into it. Again, for discussion or whatever, a coffee shop or something along that particular line, or that still would serve the community well, in the sense that we have the recreational area there. Again, you mentioned of the Crown land, we still have to determine what the minister is going to do as far as expediting getting the property to us. Now, under Crown land, what are the requirements or the constrictions as far as putting a septic system or some form of refuse waste system on Crown land? Okay, what is that cost going to be? Also, you had mentioned something about, and again, this is just jumping from one thing to another, in regards to the shed and the warming shelter, okay, and a skating rink. Do we have I don't know, do we have a skating rink?
So the skating rink, we were thinking of flooding the multi-purpose surface for that. Is that what you're referring to?
But I'm thinking, again, this is just me, if we do acquire that property, a skating rink there, or even a splash pad or something on that particular line, could be something we could take a delve into as well. But
like here, like remove the church? You mean?
no, leave the church where it is. Okay, but if we're expanding upon all the other recreational things, but I wasn't aware where the skating rink was or was planned on being. Okay, so
Yeah, that was that, but then we had also possibly talked about maybe doing something at the David Bell
yes.
or whatever, so.
Yeah, because there was concerns about if we flooded that, it's gonna damage the asphalt, right?
I've already had people mention to me that the asphalt's already waving, so.
I mean, I think over the years, there's gonna be all kinds of recreational projects come up. I mean, this is just one of many ones that have been, from the past. I mean, yes, we've talked in the past about splash pads, we've talked in the past about, and we do have to, like you say, be come at David Bell Park. We're looking at parks for Island View. I mean, there's a whole spectrum of things that are going. This was just one of the projects that we've been trying to get going now for the last couple of years. And this in the Yoho Park. And then, you know, other things are coming along and everything will get sort of done in time, I would hope.
Councilor McKenzie.
So, as far as uses, back to this specific project here, as far as uses for this go, I would think it would be along the lines of probably similar to Victoria Hall there in Maryland, which is used
Craft,
all the time.
yeah, like little
basically.
craft fairs and stuff.
Yeah, it's actually a little bit bigger than Victoria Hall, so as far as uses go, like it'd be packed. Look at this building here, it's full booked till the end of the summer, so there's lots of little things that can't happen because sometimes they won't rent out the boardrooms, small boardrooms, while there's certain events that are happening in the other room. Like, so there's things that we're losing opportunities that we could have had for people that we would have now if we had this small rec building, right?
And again, what I'm just looking at is what the plan is, and for lack of a better term, make it somewhat of a revenue generating.
It's never, these municipal buildings are not gonna pay for themselves. We have.
I'm not saying it's gonna pay
It's
for
just the
itself.
way it is.
I say what it's gonna be, it's going to assist
Oh, yeah.
in. And you had mentioned the Blue Maryland one.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if there's any chance we can find out from them what type of income they're generating off.
Well, it's $57 at 4 hours, whatever it is, similar to what we're.
It's like a rental, yeah, like a rental rate. They would have a rental rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'd have a rental rate.
I forget what it is.
Councilor Britlaw.
Just a question on the washrooms. Do I understand that these washrooms are intended for exterior use for other users in the area here?
Yeah.
So you could entrance them from the inside and the outside?
There would be both. There needs to be washrooms inside, but there also needs to be washrooms that exit to the outside, which would be at the back of the building for the park, for the trails and for the park, the playground and over here. So there would be both.
Yeah, because a lot of the activity in the future
Yeah.
is going to be over here.
Well, not necessarily.
Maybe I'm wrong on that, but you know, if there's washrooms to be available to the public outside, it would seem reasonable to connect them to the existing system in the main building here, where you've already got a water and septic installed.
There'll need to be water and septic for there. I mean, you need to.
Yeah, you're going to have to clear quite an area of woods there to create a field and all that stuff.
Well, I honestly don't know. I mean, I know, you know, the septics I've seen. I know I lived in a place that had a septic in the front yard, and the front yard is no bigger than this here. Now, mind you, that was a residential one for sure. But that'll all come out in the plans, you know, they have to be all drawn up by an architect. And, you know, they know the specifications and know how, but they're not nearly as big as they used to be for sure.
And when I did the recent site plan, I had stated in the site plan that we wanted to do something at that building and put in a well and septic, and they approved our site plan, so it must be something that they are
Well, I mean, they
fine
have.
to approve.
I mean, DNR has been quite clear that the only reason they're interested in keeping this land is not to restrict what we do on it. It's because they need it for their inventory of, you know, I forget, well, for the crown, but for the environmental, not the, I forget the name of the word, but.
Crown Lands Inventory.
They're, it'll come to me. They're not gonna cut it, basically. And they need an inventory of land that they just keep for environmental purposes, and this is why, you know. So it's not that they wanna restrict what we do in any way. They know that it's always gonna be a park, and it's always gonna, you know.
Councillor Heisler.
I guess my concern is around water and septic. I'm just trying to figure out, in the rural areas, I mean, your septic has to be in one place and your water has to be in the other place. So in terms of that particular spot, exactly where they're gonna have to go. So that which will determine to me the layout of the building or how far you can extend the building either way. But we've never ever actually looked at where the septic and well could possibly go. We haven't gotten to that stage.
But I would have to think that would be part of your
Yeah.
architectural design. like
Exactly.
that
But
is-
it wasn't when we did our other design, right?
No, I don't think it was.
No.
Just
It
the
wasn't.
drawings
Well,
of the
it was just
actual
very
building.
basic drawings, yeah.
It was basic drawings.
Yeah.
So,
But if you're putting it out to tender
It's
for
gonna have-
architectural designs, like they're going to have to look
Wait,
at.
they'll-
oh, for sure,
They'll look
they're
at it.
gonna have to know, but that's
Where
what,
that is.
yeah, but
Yeah.
are they going to do test holes first? To figure out, because look at this building here,
We have to
where
do a
we,
bunch.
yes, we had, and where we wanted our septic, we couldn't put it.
No.
So that's where I'm concerned, like, I'm just concerned about that, I'm just trying to find a workaround on how we're going to be able to, be able to get it the way, like, we'd like it to be. But, and then my other question is, okay, we figure that out and that works great. But in terms of accessibility, because this is a public building, how do we look at all the accessibility issues?
That will also be in the drawing that comes from, this is why we're hiring someone to, they know the specifications, they know the requirements as far as
But
accessibility.
it wasn't in the prior ones.
No, it wasn't, but no, that was not, but we didn't go
We
forward.
didn't move forward with an
Yeah,
architectural
with an architectural
design.
drawing, and that's what we need to do now, is go forward with some drawings, with a more detailed drawing.
Like putting on a ramp, because I know
Yes.
Victoria,
Has
what's
a
it called,
huge
place?
Victoria Hall.
They have a ramp.
Yeah.
They have,
Yeah.
there's all
Our
accessible.
initial drawings, that was just a concept.
Yeah.
Concept
Yeah.
drawing,
It's
yeah.
past concept phase, now we're
Oh,
trying to
yes.
actually get to architectural
We
phase.
need architectural
Yeah.
drawings, it was a requirement.
Did you read the stuff that came from White's? They explained all this, as to what would be required.
Oh,
And
yes,
that-
but I'm just still concerned about all of it in the space that's there right now. So,
There's a lot more
So
space
further
in it.
on, I had talked about our storage building and warming hut or whatever. And I suggested that we discuss it at the infrastructure meeting, that we have a separate meeting. How about I find out from the Regional Service Commission what we actually need to do for well and septic, if it's something that we have to look at before we go to architectural design, or if that is all part of it, and then I will bring that back to you and we can discuss that at that meeting as well. Does that work for you?
Sounds good.
I think it'd be great to have it in infrastructure and parks, because we discuss so much stuff at management, it'd be nice to have just like a couple of things at infrastructure
It's
and
just
parks
that.
that we can just,
Yeah, because we gotta make
Deal
sure
with
what we can do before we go forward.
yes,
'Cause that's all
100%.
happened before, we were going forward and we couldn't do what we wanted to do, remember? So those kind of roadblocks come up too, that we've got to, resolve before we move anywhere.
Okay.
And
And
just-
I will see if I can kind of get an idea of what their rental income is over at Victoria, just to give a rough idea.
So just on another note, because I've noticed people had mentioned it in the past, residents, that they were wondering what the usage here, like on weekends, I know we're supremely busy at Hanwell Center. It's booked all the time, right? Which during the week, are we booked a lot?
It really depends.
Yeah.
Like January's been pretty slow, but we have a mom and baby group that comes in and uses the space. We don't charge them. It's just
Right.
like a gathering. It's open to anyone who wants to come.
have
They come.
yoga.
We have yoga Tuesday night. That's Tuesday nights. Dance. Unfortunately, Eric won't be able to do that for a while. He's injured, so that's kind of come to a standstill. But we had dance Monday nights. We had yoga Tuesday nights. We had the Mommy and Me group Wednesdays. Zoomers
Zoomers is.
Tuesdays and Mondays and Thursdays.
And it's
But that's
huge now.
evenings, right?
No.
No, those are through the day.
Those are during the day? Okay, that's what I'm trying
Yeah.
to figure out, how much usage do we have during the
And
day?
government rentals have just started again.
Okay.
So Megan's booked, I think we have Department of Environment coming, we've got, anyway, so there's like 3 or 4 bookings in the month of March, a few in April. So now, like January, February are dead, like for government rentals, but once March hits, I find the professional government just starts slamming us with like 2-3 day
Right.
full
right,
rentals,
right.
yeah.
So that's what, I just want to be able to say to our residents, look, it's booked 50% of the time as it is. We're kind of growing out of that space and we need
Yeah.
another space.
It's probably more.
That kind of, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, and as Taylor was saying earlier tonight, like our summer students are really going to start with the cultural and leisure activities. So like we were saying, we'd love to have like crib games and bunch of ladies together to knit or crochet or coffee or just games or
All kinds of-
whatever,
all
so.
kinds of different groups.
There's tons of different things that we can do, so. And once again, that is something that could be done over
In the little
there in the
recreational
small-
area.
Well, you would think like something as simple as the ski and snowshoe project, it would be easier to probably run it out of the small.
No, because
spots if you
well,
could.
because Taylor runs it, and he runs it out of the garage. So for him
okay,
having to
right.
go across, we'd have to hire someone to do that. But
Okay,
yeah.
Taylor kind of maintains that.
Okay.
But for example, the little mommy and baby group, perfect spot would be over there.
Right.
Right. So there's like 12 or 13 of them. It would be perfect spot.
Well, paint and sips, we
Yeah.
thought would be a great
Well,
spot,
yeah.
would be over there.
That's
Yeah.
what I thought.
So
They had
there
that-
are many things
Oh,
that we can.
tons of things.
do,
And I
so.
mean,
Your social.
yeah, and the thing is, it's also a place to, you know, once you get it decorated with the pictures and it's, you know, it has the history of, you know, of the area that can also be displayed over there too. And
There's a really neat, 2 or 3 little spots. If you check I think it's the village of Guysborough in Nova Scotia, they took the old courthouse and converted it to a tourism as well as information center. The Goldboro Interpretive Center is a massive building for just a community that only has 50 people. But it has the history and of the whole area there, tourists drive through, et cetera, et cetera. If we could in turn, again, just throwing this out, try to find history of the Hanwell, besides just what we presently have on our website and stuff like that, that would be an ideal spot, if we decide we're not gonna use it as a rental facility. Or an expression, hell, if they wanted to, if they wanna put up some bookshelves, I know somebody who's willing to donate probably 7,000 books for a community library. Not a problem.
No. It's unfortunate that we didn't at the time put an 8-foot basement under it, because that would have really have made it. And I looked at,
That's hindsight though, it's.
well, it is, I looked at the possibility of whether we could go up, but because of the slope, it would be very difficult to make it not look funny. Even another 2 feet would be not bad, because I mean, a 6-foot ceiling is better than a 4-foot ceiling, but anyway, I think it
Great for you.
should be fine for me. Me and you. But I mean, that would probably, I mean, it's easily enough done, but I just don't know that it's feasible for that area, and it's unfortunate because it would have made that building so much more useful than, you know.
But did not the architect mention something about the structural integrity underneath anyway?
Well, that's all
With
gonna have to
with
be
the
addressed.
styrofoam, et cetera, et cetera?
Oh, yeah, I mean, everything's gonna have to be addressed and all that stuff, it's gonna have to be, you know, the roof and the walls, I mean, this is what we're hiring
And,
them to do.
Maybe we can also include what would be the additional cost of, I'm not gonna say relocating it, but relocating in the sense with a full basement.
Well, we looked, I asked her, just for fun, I asked her what would, you know, would that be possible? Of course, structurally it's possible, but look, you know, looks wise it would be, because it's just where it is. There's not enough land around it to kind of gradually, you know, blend it in with the background. It didn't seem like a really very feasible idea. Good idea, but not feasible probably. I mean, it's something we could always run by them again, but
I think it would stand out like a sore thumb.
it
though, if you
probably
put it up 3
would.
feet.
That's,
And then a ramp access would be
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
even worse.
Yeah.
yeah.
Couldn't you just dig it deeper?
That's what I'm saying.
The basement.
If there wasn't a floor in it, you might be able to, but I believe there's a concrete floor in it.
Right, well, you need a new basement, basically, is what it would be.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Be a 6
Well,
foot.
you could, I mean, if you really wanted to put the money into it and, you know, take out the old one, I mean, anything's possible.
Yeah.
It's
Then
just-
again, you're like the whole accessibility issue. Then you're building a bigger,
Well,
larger
no, then you're
ramp.
going down. He's talking about going
Oh,
down, not
lowering,
going up.
right,
Yeah.
yeah,
You know, that's tearing with the basement we put in, so,
Yeah.
oh, what a waste that would be.
yeah.
In the long run, you know, I don't know.
But in turn, as I say, they've already mentioned that the fact that the way they structured the basement or something is that it's not,
No, that's, the thing
it's
is,
not
that-
sustainable with the way they put the
Yeah.
styrofoam in, et cetera, so.
but that will be,
Again, that's something we can take a look at.
so that'll be addressed by the architects. That's why we're hiring architects. They'll address all the issues, the structural issues, including that.
And how close the stream is to when we look at septic and water, right? and all
They
of
will
that
also look
stuff.
at that.
We'll have to look at
Yeah.
all of that stuff.
That's all gonna be looked at for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Before we
that's,
go ahead, we gotta make sure that we can do what we wanna do, so.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
well, that's why we
I'll,
have to hire people.
find out some
Yeah.
information. We'll bring it back to our next meeting or whatever, and we'll discuss
Okay.
everything then, and then we decide to move forward as well. The next one is the Scouts Bandit property at Yoho. When I was talking to them in December, they were pretty sure that this was complete, and then I'm not sure what happened, if it was something to do with signatures possibly in Ottawa or whatever. So now they are telling me that this will be completed for the end of February, so I should have, that party for you. So then I provided you information on the storage building. I had given you a copy of the tender that we were going to put out there in November last year. So just kind of review it, and this is once again something that we will discuss at that meeting.
So we're gonna, so I know you say we have to, if we're going to do a tender, we should do it by the end of February. So are we gonna have the meeting, the infrastructure parks meeting before then?
I don't know if you can. It would probably be better if we could do it 1st of March. Tonight we've got to book 3 meetings between now and the end of February, so.
And is this something we'll have to discuss in like closed session because of the requirements that we're discussing?
I'll review it a little bit more, and then if we do, we can do it in closed, but I don't think for a tender, because your tenders are public.
But it's kind of advance notice to people, no? No? I don't know.
No, because we've always, I mean, it's been on our agenda for ages
Okay.
or whatever, so. What is, does anybody have any more questions on any of that? I am up to number 9, which is,
I'm sorry, just to back up there, that storage building, would that come out of the Canada Community Building Fund?
no, the only part that can is the warming,
Okay.
because that is considered as recreation. So this would be something that we would have to use out of our reserves or borrow or whatever for.
Is there a drawing for this?
Kind of, we did have a rough
Okay, that's rough. I
Yes,
wasn't sure if
a
I
very
sent it to you.
rough,
Yeah, that was a rough,
yeah,
I was just
thing,
rough.
but we had windows in it.
Yeah.
Yet the tender said that there was no windows and different stuff like that, so we've kind of got to
And the warming
work on that.
part kind of went by the wayside too.
The warming shelter at the back, there's the accessibility part of it, so we've got to kind of decide if that is what you want to do, because we are going to have to really expand our walkways and pavement
But
and
if,
stuff
but
like
if we're
that.
not putting a rink in, do we need a warming?
I thought we scrapped the one.
I
Like,
thought
it doesn't make
I
any
thought
sense.
I thought we
That's what I
scrapped the
thought
warming
too.
thing too.
Yeah,
Because with the climate these days, I mean, a rink is, you know,
We had talked about
you might have
Okay.
a week,
5 years.
Yeah, so we'll, like I said, we'll change.
except for you, yeah, we know you. Yours is gonna live till July.
Now,
Any issues with
This
yours
will
this year?
approve as a
Huh?
Any
current.
issues with yours this year?
Yeah.
I'm still going.
Okay.
Had a little bit issue last on the weekend, but
Yeah.
nothing that's,
Yeah, buddy down the street had a terrible time with this year, just the way, like the snow that accumulated on it and then trying to scrape it and flood it.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
going strong, probably one of my better years.
Okay.
Is that weird?
So-
Yeah,
Believe it or not,
Yeah.
for the weather that we've had,
it's been
I
very
actually,
mild.
this has been one of my better years.
Isn't that funny? Well, there, you can build one out here. But no, I thought at one point we had decided that,
That's what I thought, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we
that
got.
that
take it off.
There's a
if we
lot of it
wanted
to do
something, we
with
would
the,
just build a
fire.
standalone
Yeah.
shelter.
we'll take it off.
Yeah.
Okay,
And we couldn't
we'll,
flood.
we'll
Damage the asphalt, right? So there's a lot of reasons
tweak
not to
that.
do it.
Okay, so next I have an update on our, welcome to Hamwell signs.
Oh,
So I received the application notice, I think it was yesterday. So this can be filled out, and Peter just said that once we do that, then he will look at the areas of where we can actually put them. So Councillor Crowe, I'm probably gonna contact you because this whole northeast west thing, I have to put a location, right?
Yeah.
And if I'm going north or east or west
Oh,
or, and I know that I'm going towards Fredericton or I'm going towards
it's not that hard.
Callis, so.
It's really not that hard.
So, yeah, so I will, fill out this application and get that off this week to them. And, our little Himmel Park sign, you know, at the end of Meserol has been replaced.
Thank you.
Excuse me just a second.
Yeah.
We jumped over in regards to the UMND.
Oh, sorry, yes. So the Crown Land transfer, I was just saying that UMND is doing their advocacy days. And it is March 20th and 21st down at the Crown Plaza. It is so that representatives can discuss things with their MLAs, the ministers and stuff like that. I thought this would be a great chance for us to talk to the minister instead of me and you trying to arrange a meeting. Like, they said that there was different subjects that they're going to do on the agenda and stuff. And then I believe that you are going to be able to book times with whichever ministers and stuff that you wanted. So I thought this would be a great opportunity. That is on our council evening. There is one that, I think it said it was the MLA's dinner at 6:30 possibly. So if that was something that the mayor wanted to go to, then the deputy mayor, you would have to chair the meeting unless you guys, unless there's a few of you that want to go, then we could have our, change the date of our council meeting in
So this-
March.
I looked at that, so this thing is all day, the 20th and 21st, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind going.
And
But-
March. Yeah, so it's a
Wednesday and Thursday.
So that's gonna include the land that we want here, plus finally getting David Bell.
So,
We'll have to make up certainly a wish list of what we wanna talk to them
Absolutely,
about.
yeah.
Because we wanna meet with the DTI minister too, and get them moving on that intersection out there.
I love the response that you received from DTI as far as this, the,
flashing.
Yeah.
So anyway, that is a chance if you guys want to, register, you know, you can do it yourself did I provide this to you? It's in your
It's in
UMND
the package, yeah.
thing or whatever, so,
Who wants to go? Maybe Terry can do one registration for
I was
everybody.
gonna say I would because
I
if you
can't
want
go
me to
during
pay
the day.
for it, because it's $100, so.
I got a back-to-back meeting the 21st through the day, so it would be over.
That's only gonna be for what? An hour and a half, maybe two?
It's in the morning, mid-morning to noon or something like that.
So you could still.
So what part of it?
The 21st is only till noon anyway.
Oh,
I could go if there was nobody else, but I don't wanna take a spot from someone.
Yeah.
I would
You guys
take,
can-
I would take time off work to go, but. if
You
someone
guys
else
can
could go.
decide, let me know, and I will register you, but I think this is a
David,
great
you're gonna be able to go?
opportunity.
Pardon?
you're gonna be able to go.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'll go if I can get somebody.
And on the 20th, it's like 9 to 5-ish kind of thing?
Yeah.
Throws another, for anybody working on it, where you
It
are.
is, it's
Yeah.
8 to, and then, like I said, the MLA reception is at 6:30.
So we'd have to change our,
Because they don't have experience, but if
So
you
we-
need a sidekick, I'd go.
so we'd have to change.
Oh, no, sorry, I I have a new agenda and my days are over like 1, so I'm always looking at the wrong column. So, our council meeting is on the 21st and this concludes at dinner time, so.
Why was our, in March, that's a Thursday.
Oh, that's,
You were right.
You were right the first time, 'cause this is the 21st.
let's skip over from February.
I'm thinking that leap year really moved things around.
Yeah, move things around on you, Jerry. Yeah, no, it's.
Alright,
So,
so
yeah.
it is, council
Which is not the
evening.
21st.
Right, so if you wanted to move council meeting,
To the
we
20th.
just have to notify the public in time, so, kind of make that decision.
I think it'd be really worthwhile going to. Because UMAB does a good job and when they get the ministers there and stuff like that. It's-
Yeah,
Good opportunity to bend the rear a little bit.
yeah,
Exactly.
so we could, actually at next week's council meeting,
Yeah.
make a motion to
21st.
change it, or whatever, so.
To the
You guys-
following week?
Um,
28th?
We could,
For changing
we
it.
could do that,
or
you
change
could make it to the
21st. You could do it on, if it's done by noon on Thursday, you could change it to the 21st.
That's it, our EMO meeting, but we
Oh,
might have to,
okay,
The Tuesday
or
night.
just do it on, the Tuesday night on the
on
19th,
19th,
Yeah,
that's
it'd be
possible
easier,
too.
just wait one day.
Yeah,
or whatever.
Or the Thursday.
Or Thursday,
Yeah.
the 21st,
so I thought you said that was your EMO meeting.
no,
No,
27th.
following Wednesday.
Oh, okay, yeah, so either the day before or the day after.
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, one or the other.
Either one's fine.
Okay,
Yeah, so
So how many of us can go to this thing?
I don't think there was a limit, was there?
there was a
They
limit
said
of
2.
2,
Okay.
however, they said that, we'll accommodate additional attendees based on available space, so,
We wouldn't all need to go though, too.
Yeah.
so yeah, I think you should
Yeah, I
attend
think that's
for
important.
sure,
It's a
and-
good opportunity for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
But who would all be interested? If there's only 3 or 4 of us, you are.
I can be the last on
Canvas.
the list, I can be
Yeah.
like the, if someone can't go. I'm-
So we could, we could put in for 4 if they can accommodate 4, right? If they can't, 3, if they can't do that, we'll go with 2, so scale it back and see what they can
The
do.
mayor and the deputy mayor should definitely be there though.
okay,
If Susan can.
If Susan may.
okay, so we're okay with, the signs, I'll move forward with that. Okay, so, our vision plan, I heard back from Jackie this afternoon. So, this is the lady that works for Porter O'Brien, and she lives here, she is a Hamwell resident. So I had talked to her last year at UMMB, and then I talked to her again, and she said that she is willing to come in. She realizes that strategic plans have to go out for tenders and stuff, but she would come in and talk to you guys because you guys are her council, and give you ideas of what you should ask for in your tender and stuff. So she is available, let me go back to February's calendar. She's available next Thursday, but we have that smart meters with MB Power, it's a public meeting that night. So she's available on Monday, February the 26th.
Wait.
Tuesday, the 27th, or Wednesday, the 28th. Saying that the auditor wants to also come either on the 27th or the 29th to do our audited financial statements, so that would be a special meeting of council. I don't know how long it would take, like, I'm scared to book both of them on the same night.
Right now, on the 29th, we've got the rural plan meeting, because we moved it from the 22nd to the 29th.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm thinking that do the audit on the 27th,
What time?
no?
Sure.
I
go
can't
ahead.
make the 27th, I have a doctor's appointment.
Happy birthday to you.
Yes, it is.
Oh.
I have prac, but that's all, that should be over before.
We really need 5 here anyway for that, for a special meeting for the audit. I don't mind saying for the audit, it's dry, but, you know, I kinda like that stuff. so
Yeah.
it's-
Okay,
It's interesting.
who can be here on the 27th? Do I have enough for
I can,
Tuesday?
It's a Tuesday.
is it like 7 o'clock-ish?
So I would, yeah,
Is it,
okay, so I'm gonna
Terry,
do the,
is
pardon me?
it, is it 7 o'clock? I have prac at 5,
Yep,
Maybe 7 probably, right?
probably 7. As long as it's 7, I can probably make it, because I can't leave early because I'm the chair.
okay.
Yeah.
So
That's
I'm
kinda
going to
bad.
do the special meeting for the audit on the 27th. The 26th, do you want to bring in Jackie or Councillor Heislip? You won't be here that week?
So you'll be
You're
here
on
the
vacation.
So I can be here the 26th.
Oh, you could be here on the 26th. Does Monday the 26th work for you guys?
For what?
To meet with
Councillor Fox, do you have a birthday on that day too?
Oh, it's my alternative birth.
I curl on Monday nights, as a rule.
I'm just wondering about, so, why is this person coming in?
Just to talk
us some
to
advice
council
on our
to,
plan.
for when we put out the tender, because you guys wanted to do a strategic plan.
Could
We
you do it-
also got funding, for the strategic plan,
Could you-
or
Just do it
whatever.
the next management meeting, maybe, the same presentation like we had here tonight?
Well, it's according to how much you guys really want to discuss and ask questions, I
I
guess.
see, yeah.
Yeah, but that's an idea to put it with the management plan, because again, it kind of combines things, makes it one last night out, we're here anyway, so if she can do that.
Yeah, or I could,
Or you can have it without me, if
or I
everybody else
could
can make it, I
do,
don't.
the audit at, oh, you can't come at 6, could you?
No.
When?
For
On a
the
Monday?
audit.
The
Oh,
27th.
No,
Or
that's
on
the
the
audit's on a
27th.
Tuesday,
No, on the 27th I can't come for 6 because the prac's at 5. It's-
but you said you'd come for 7.
Yes.
I'm hoping, yeah, usually I'm out of there in time to be here for 7. If I were a little bit late, was it 27?
So
Or the
would
audit.
you guys be able to meet on the 6 o'clock if I brought,
On when?
Same day.
oh, you still can't.
She
I still can't, no. I can't do anything much before 7. I'll be, if I'm late for the audit, I'm late for the audit.
Okay.
It's not like I'm gonna.
I mean,
What if
could
we
Not
wait,
everybody
Terry,
needs to
what if we wait
No.
till, March? Sure.
Yeah.
can we just,
Yeah,
because
that's
we,
Do it at the management session?
I
Is that what
think,
you're thinking?
If you, sure, if you want
Or we
to.
could start the management session a little bit early.
But what about the infrastructure meeting too? We have to do one of those, right?
Yeah.
Is that happening in February or March?
Well, we don't have many
Days.
days left. Monday is a holiday, Wednesday is council.
the phone.
Thursday is a meeting out here about the smart meters, so I don't know how many of you guys want to attend that. Then Tuesday, the 27th, is gonna be a special meeting. Wednesday night is EMO. So
Thursday's rural plan.
29th is.
Thursday's rural plan, so then you're into,
And Friday's my birthday, and I'm more special than Tim's.
So we're special.
so,
So it had to
We
be
won't
the
be meeting on
26th
Friday
that
night
night,
anyway.
if we're in an infrastructure meeting, but not everybody's available.
Why is it?
so, do you want to do, so then we're into the week of the March 11th. So do you want to do, we've already got,
Management.
info,
Or,
or
yeah.
management or whatever, on the 13th.
March.
And I don't know what her availability is for March either, so. But do you wanna try like maybe Tuesday the 12th?
For management, for,
I'm only
infrastructure and
back,
parks?
I'm only back that day. Probably at night. Yeah, usually, maybe, hopefully.
All right,
We're not available.
14.
14th,
We
I
keep
think.
going, we're gonna be into August.
Because, yeah, so we want it, but by early March, you should hear back from the feds, right, about whether we're gonna lose our benefits or not.
I
That's what
can't
we're waiting on
imagine.
right now, right, for infrastructure?
I can't imagine we're gonna lose anything.
No, they told us that we won't We
No.
don't have to give back those funds.
No,
for-
but are we gonna get new
But-
funds is the question, especially with a new population, because our amount was supposed to go up.
Yeah, it should go up significantly.
Significantly, yeah.
Well, don't plan on any new roads, guys, because that's what Ivo just said, we're not gonna be able to get anymore.
Yeah, that's the other thing too, that I was gonna bring up later on before we're done, we haven't done our thing yet. Roads.
Oh, yeah, well,
Feasibility study.
we're only on number
Yeah,
11,
yes.
10.
Okay,
Did I get on
so
there? I missed it.
let's go, have we decided when you want the infrastructure?
14.
The 14th of March.
Okay.
Infrastructure,
Okay.
14th of March.
Yep.
It's all at 7 o'clock.
Yes. Okay. And then, do you want me just to find out what her availability is in March, or try to bring her in for 6 PM on the 14th?
Well, let me see what our availability is in March. We have, our meeting next week, correct? We will
Yeah,
have an
you
idea.
just find it, let
Just
us
find
know.
out and then we'll
Okay.
structure it from there.
There you go.
All right.
The special audit meeting, when's that?
The audit is going to be next Tuesday on 27th.
But just remember,
Timmy.
the error is human. To forgive is against audit policies.
Okay,
We just booked next year's
Yeah,
meeting on my birthday too.
How many birthdays do you
My
have?
birthday last year, so I'll always remember it.
and you're not bitter or anything,
Not
are
at
you?
all.
Better be cake.
Yeah, look, we're here on Valentine's Day tonight, let's keep going.
Yes.
great. Okay, so, Councillor Heislip, found me a contact name for the Rick Hansen, so we'll reach out to them. So the aquatic pool, I had sent you quite a detailed message on that. I got more of an update today. So they have received the letter from Perkins and Wells today. Remember that we said that the lawyers had sent out that letter to them. We were waiting for the response. So Collier's project leaders, they are reviewing that with Capital Regional Service Commission, and they are going to meet with us CAOs next week to let us know what's happened. So hopefully, maybe by next Wednesday, if we can have a meeting before our council, I can provide you more of an update on what that looks like. So, next is the handball days. You guys are having the meeting here shortly, I guess.
Well, we were supposed to, but it's almost 8:30 today.
Well, I don't think our meeting tonight will be that long. Gotta decide, we gotta decide on a few things.
Okay.
So we'll try to move it along
Yes.
quickly.
And everything else is just notes. We've talked about the audited financial statements and set a date. The heat pump replacements, we do have quotes, and I was going to print them all off for you. I'll just send them as part of the package. So this is a budgeted item. We've received the quotes, and then council, you guys can just decide which company that you want to go with.
We had Greenfoot, we had
Extreme Home.
Extreme,
Yep.
and what was the other one who reached out?
Actually, Valley Refrigeration, they reached out and they got back to me yesterday. They come out and I said I needed it today and I haven't received it yet.
Okay, but if we can have
But
it
that,
before,
that's no problem, that's neither here nor
Yeah.
there, so.
There's another company over across the river,
I'm just trying to stay local as I can for us.
That's why I said. this is
'Cause they're all gonna be
right
the
on
same.
Main Street.
Yeah.
They are, they can,
Yep.
thing too, they actually did my heat pump.
Oh yeah, there's all kinds, I just was trying to stay fairly local to handles. as I can to, just to support the workers and stuff around here and the companies.
Oh yes, the Crown Land, that's been done. The RTIPA requests and stuff, I am going to report those on my treasurer's report. So the only other thing that I have to add, there is going to be a by-election on Monday, May the 6th. There are a few communities that need to have new councillors. So if any of you guys decide that you no longer want to be a councillor, we need to declare the seat no later than March the 22nd. So you're going to have to make a motion at the council meeting in March so that I can get that filed with Elections New Brunswick. So
Hopefully that's not the case.
I'm assuming everybody's good.
Hopefully that's not the case. I have something to talk about real quick too. Doug Johnson, do you remember
Yeah.
his presentation, he was gonna forward me some information. I have that information, I'm gonna send it to you guys in your package. You guys can kind of decide what you wanna do with that. He gave me, exactly what he's looking for, he gave me some examples, and, yeah.
I still don't understand that process. Why do they have to come and ask us what they want to do?
Because the money goes
Because
to
it comes
us.
to us, we get the
I know
money.
the money comes to us, but I mean, we know what it's for.
Yeah.
I still find it, it bothered me at the time that they have to come and tell us what they want to do with
No,
money
they're
that we're
just-
collecting for them.
They're just asking, we're not collecting for them, it's a tax that
Well, I
comes to
know,
us.
well,
They're looking to spend some of it on them,
yeah,
yeah.
Anyway,
realistically.
I'll provide it to you all, so you can all take a look, and I'll put it on the next meeting.
Speaking
So
of
they can make a
things, did you
decision.
get anything back in regards to your letter to,
Oh,
the,
no,
the taxes?
No.
No, we
nothing-
did
nothing
not.
back on that, yeah.
no,
Which I'm surprised at, because he got back really quick.
it's usually pretty quick.
Well, he got back so quick when we first put it in.
Maybe I'll do another reminder email.
Quick question. Regarding committees, so I wasn't aware that we were creating two new committees, the Recreation Committee and the Culture and Leisure Committee? Where did that come from?
No, so those are operational, so
Yeah.
those are under,
Oh, I
Yeah.
see, okay.
They're not council committees,
Okay.
yeah.
but you're welcome to join them.
Yeah,
As,
so-
as a community member, you're welcome to join
No, I
them.
was just surprised, because I thought that would be something that we would discuss here, but they're operational.
They're,
Good.
yeah, you guys have decided that those are operational,
Staff.
so, yeah.
Councillor Fox, one-
Yeah, I just wanted to bring this to council. So the Overcoming Poverty Together number 4, so every 5 years, there's a new, essentially, poverty reduction plan that's done by the government that comes out. The Overcoming Poverty Together plan number 4 is in the works now. And one of the questions is whether or not we would like to suggest to that group whether they would like to hold a meeting here. So they're holding a number of public meetings to bring people together to get input from the public into the plan, the next plan. And so they hope to do those in March sometime. And so if that's something that we're interested in, we should just let them know. If we're not, that's fine too, but I think I wanted to bring that to you so that it's something that we could consider.
I think it's a great idea, and for the fact that we are kind of central, like we could get people from New Maryland, Harvey, Fredericton, wherever.
Yeah, it's
I
other
think it would
people
be
having
a-
input, right? It's not really.
A great
when they
idea.
just
Should
booked out-
have the-
We have a facility.
Yeah.
yeah, why not?
And
Definitely.
if you decide that's what you wanna do, just make sure you talk to Megan,
Yeah.
so she can book that time in.
Dave, you had something you want to bring forward too with the dinner for somebody, to help somebody local?
Oh, yes. I had noticed a post on Facebook. There's a family that's trying to get some funds for surgery or whatever, can't remember exactly what it is, but they're having a dinner at Porter's on the 20th. It's $20 for the dinner and stuff like that. I don't anticipate council paying for anything like that, but I don't know what your feeling is, but I kind of think it would be kind of nice if maybe we all went, or, you know, some members of council just made an appearance. Again, it's community support, you know, maybe, for lack of a better term, being whatever, just promoting ourselves within the community.
It's a kind of a fundraising dinner for
It's a
a
fundraising
local,
dinner, and it's
Family.
Yeah, for a family.
family, one person
And, you
needs
know, Forest
something.
is putting it on, and they do that 3 or 4, 5 times a year, I think, for different families and stuff, so. Again, I think I'm gonna be reaching out and going, but
Do you know what time it is?
I think it's from 4 to 6.
It's February 20th.
It's February 20th, it's on the Hanwell Facebook page.
Yeah, they have a poster inside their door too.
Yes, they do. But, you know,
Thanks for bringing
a-
that
as
up.
a group, you know, it just might make some, not looking for positive publicity, but hey,
I wonder if we can make a reservation and us kind of all go together or whatever.
Well,
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
when is it? March 20th?
March
It's the 20th.
February? February?
February 20th.
February, isn't it? February.
February, right around the corner.
Yeah, yeah. Because it'd be next Thursday night, right?
Tuesday night.
Tuesday.
Tuesday night, yeah. I added subtract.
I'm available.
You're looking
that
at my
night.
calendar, aren't you?
Yeah. So next Tuesday before council.
If a couple of us are going, I'd go, I won't go alone, but
Well,
I would definitely,
I'd go at 4. but
Yeah.
I have something at 6.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't go at
Okay.
4.
I'd go for supper if I was gonna go, be at 5.
I can go at 4 with Tim.
yeah, I could go at 4, like.
Yeah, the 3 of us
so-
go at 4
well,
o'clock.
I'd got to go for
You, 4? Okay.
Well, everybody just, you know, maybe I'll just pick up supper and take it home. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm assuming and all the proceeds are
Yeah.
going that night, right? So,
Yeah, it says it's a specific dinner, includes tea or coffee, it's $20 from 4 to 6.
What's the meal?
It's a roast beef dinner.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. Pretty good for $20.
And
Well,
there are
when you
tickets.
pay $16 for a breakfast,
And there's a 50/50.
Silent auction, 50/50.
Silent auction.
Yeah.
oh
And
wow.
There's a what there?
Information.
Silent auction.
oh, okay.
So we need to buy whole tickets to be able to go, or?
Yeah, it says Residents of Hanwell page, it's on the Residents of Hanwell page.
Okay, We'll
Yeah.
look into it, I'll send out an email, see who
Yeah.
Yeah.
wants to go and what time.
How many
you
people
guys-
think they'll be going? Give an idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I don't
But
know.
I won't go at 4.
It depends, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got 5 or 6.
Yeah, we get
Yeah.
it.
Be nice if we could all go decide on the time to go and
Yeah.
sit together.
Can you make it a 5?
Closer to 5, yes, I can. I can't go at 4, 4 is too early.
Me and Tim can be there early and you guys can meet us there, or it's easier. That's,
But we want something left there.
Yeah, you can come after.
no, if I go there first, the food will all be gone.
That's
you know
what I'm worried
That's
about.
right.
Okay, does anybody else have?
Did
I
we-
just, sorry, I just had a quick question. So we talked about the committees, the recreation and leisure ones. So are those on the website? Like
They're not even up yet. Like he doesn't even have a committee yet.
No, we've just.
No,
had
but
calls and-
will
Oh.
they be then on the website and the times that they're meeting? Because
Yes, they should
I
be.
don't even know what times there would be. So if somebody asked me,
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
Once he gets his committee chosen and
Okay,
the night they're gonna meet, he's just
Yeah,
kind
we're
of
just taking
compiling stuff now.
Calls for them now.
okay.
Yeah.
The other question I had was DTI. The response that we got regarding the blinking, flashing amber lights and not being able to do this and not being able to do that. Is there any, I mean, council is trying really hard to look at residents' concerns and put it out there, and DTI has basically said we can't do it. Is there any way we can put something either in the Herald or on the website with a link to their response that we've asked for this to be looked at, and this is the response we got? Kind of like a question and answers thing.
Guys, we tried.
We tried,
This is what.
and this is what's happening, because I know a lot of people that have asked me about the amber light and why can't it happen, and, well, I think it needs to be put out there, because we've
Still
tried,
recording?
we've asked, and it's just not forthcoming. And they haven't really given us a solution.
No, they just said that wasn't an available option.
Right.
So,
Sorry.
yeah,
Because of their guidelines.
yeah, they do have
So-
guidelines.
I would think that it would be something that we should put out anytime really that we, we're trying to kind of right what we see as a wrong. I mean, people are getting charged a significant fine if they're caught there.
Oh, yeah.
So it's our way of trying to mitigate things, and it's just not
I
happening.
will say I did raise the speed limit, so it's now
You
90.
raised it, did you?
No, on the,
No,
on
sorry,
the sign.
so on the sign,
On the sign.
the speed
Now
limit,
100 zone.
the speed limit on the sign. So now, if you're going 90, which is pretty much what people are clicking up here, it's going to flash.
Okay.
Before it didn't. Once it hit 70, it stopped.
Okay.
Because that's the time we were told. We were told speed limit has to be 70. Once it's because of 20 kilometers over the actual speed.
Right.
Anyway, so DTI was like, okay, now we'll put it up to 85, 90, and we'll see if that makes a difference. It is making a difference because you see people flying and then slamming on the brake because they're registering, because they're coming that fast. They're registering here almost like on quite far on this side of the driveway.
Maybe that flashing will be enough to get.
So they're now actually seeing it, right? Because people that were going 80. You're not going to hit it. It wasn't even going to register before.
Right.
Now it should register. It should register. And if you're going 90 in this area and it's 80 and you get nailed,
Too bad.
it's
bad.
like, you know what I mean? Like it's, yeah.
So how come then at other places, like if you're going like through a school zone or whatever, it tells you what your speed is, even if I'm going 35.
It does tell you
instead
that.
of 30. But I went by there the other day. It didn't even register.
It's only registering.
During
It'll
school
only do
hours.
50 above,
And during
right?
school hours.
So it's only going to do
okay.
50 above and I shut it off after school hours.
Okay.
So 50 above, it will register. 50 to 90, you're going
Okay.
to see numbers.
Okay.
Anything below 50, you probably won't see, or you might see. I think they do. You
Yeah.
do see it.
You do.
You do see
You
it.
do see it.
Because
I am
it shows
that
when
person.
I'm coming in here.
Okay, so you do.
Now.
23.
In the like after 4 o'clock, it's off,
Okay.
and on weekends it doesn't work.
But I still think we should put something out there to let people know that we've tried. We've really tried to do
No,
this. And
it'll be out tonight.
Yeah. And it just hasn't happened, or they just don't want
Was
to
there
play
other
ball.
there were some other questions somewhere.
I just there was the housing action thing, the email that you had sent about, the housing action thing, April the 9th at the Playhouse.
Oh, yes. Yeah, so I actually want to register all of this so that we can
Yeah.
all sit together.
Yeah, it's just donation with a non-perishable food item for the event, so.
I emailed,
No, it's
Isn't
for
it-
Habitat, I think it's a dollar
Yeah, it was-
donation, is it?
It's a donation to Habitat for Humanity.
At the door, it said donations door for,
Oh, I'm wondering if it's, because I went to their page, maybe I saw something else on their page. Maybe
I looked at the
I might have
playhouse,
made
and
that
I
up.
saw
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
It said,
donation.
it said a donation to Habitat for Humanity, but I wasn't, is it a cash donation I'm looking for?
Yeah,
Okay.
the borough cash donation.
I thought it might want a couple of 2x4s for the place over there where they sell stuff.
yeah, because I had called Peter Corbin the other day to talk to him about that and wasn't able to get him, and I told him I'd call him back and I haven't. So.
Anything else?
Do we ever hear anything about that grant, I forget what you call it, the one for housing?
No,
Did Harvey get theirs and we didn't get ours
no.
yet?
We haven't, who, did you say somebody got there?
Harvey got theirs. Harvey got theirs a couple weeks ago. And I forget who else has got theirs.
Moncton.
Yeah, a lot of the big cities, Moncton got them first and got a whole bunch. And the last I heard was that they thought, in the next, I guess it was Lonnie I was talking to. And at that time, must have been at Prac last time, so it's been a couple weeks.
Okay.
And he said that Harvey had just gotten theirs and that we should be hearing something soon.
Yeah, no, I haven't
Just
received
curious.
anything.
Curious. We gotta get some ideas on the go.
Okay.
So I just want to be clear then, so I have council's blessing to contact Suzanne White about the overcoming poverty
Yes,
together?
yes.
Okay,
Sounds
thank
good.
you.
Okay, we're good?
Good.
All right.